And welcome to yet another Tuesday's Timely Torah Talks. Tonight we have our very dear friend Rabbi Yitzchak Feldheim, world-renowned lecturer, joining us. Rabbi Feldheim, welcome. How you doing?
Oh, I'm great. Baruch Hashem. It's good to be here. Rabbi, you have the best audience. So whenever you invite me, I'm the happiest.
It was great seeing you last night at a simcha. We should only see each other at simchas yesterday and only happy occasions. So tonight, our topic is desires in Judaism. So we're going to jump straight into it, and we're going to ask the rabbi the different questions that we have for our Torah talk. We're going to be talking Torah. So we usually associate desires, in the Torah world, in Judaism, as a negative light. You have desires. Oh my gosh, right? But how do we use desires for a positive person? Chazaq, if you like to be positive, think good, it'll be good, So, Rabbi, what do you say about that?
I have to grab the audience. I always want to start with something radical, so you're asking me, how do you use desires for a positive purpose? I want to say that there's no such thing as desire for a negative purpose. All desire is holy. And is that radical enough? I like to dig a hole that I have to climb out of. Okay, all right. So that's the yesod. If you want to know, I chose the title. You asked me. I want what desire, because most people think I'm going to say, don't have desires. Be a good boy. Sit still. Take a cold shower. No, the whole avodah. Listen, some people may have heard this from me. Anyone that listens to me, but I like to say this. The first time I talk to people, I like to say one thought, because it sort of introduces people to my whole way of looking at the world that I want to share with people. So I'm going to tell you something. If you heard it, I'm sorry. It's good.
It'll be chazara. It'll be for review.
Chazara is right. In yeshiva, they say chazara is the ikar. The main thing is reviewing. So here's the. People have heard this. A lot of speakers use this as a vehicle to talk about. I have a different way to do it, but there's an idea that the Eskimos have many words for snow. You ever heard that? It's a thing. Because when words help you talk about things, and if something is very central to your culture, so you need to have a lot of words. If your roof is made out of snow, and your car is made out of snow, and your bed is made out of snow, and your fridge is made out of snow, so you have to know, is this roof snow, kitchen snow, bedroom snow, road snow? Which snow is this? In New York, we don't have this problem. There's good snowball snow and bad snowball snow, and that's it, and so. But it's a cool idea to think about, because what we're really stumbling on, what this idea is attempting to say, is that we now have a non-biased way to figure out what a culture is about. You ask anyone, any culture, so what's your culture about? Everyone becomes a spin doctor and a salesman. Oh, we're about love, we're about brotherhood, justice. But here you have a non-biased way. What you do is you open up their dictionary and you look which words have the most synonyms. And then you'll know what's central to them. It makes a lot of sense, right? So for years, I was a rabbi out of town doing, a secular community. I gave this year, and I used this vehicle. I used to say, in Judaism, we have 10 words for simcha, happiness, right? Simcha, right? By a wedding, gila, rina, ditza, chedma, we have a lot of words. Or tefillah, we have 10 words for tefillah. So that prayer. So that's nice. Judaism, happiness, and prayer are the most important things. Very nice. And it's honest, because it's a non-biased way. Those are the most words in the dictionary. And that's what I thought for years, until I was doing research for a different shir I was talking about. And I found another word with more than 10 words. Not only is it more than 10 words, it's more than 11, more than 12. I found another word with 25 words.
Wow.
2.5 times more words. So this word is far and away the most important word in Judaism, which is it's not arguable. I'm giving a build-up over here. I think everyone knows the punchline is because he gave him the title, but I shouldn't be using the title. But this word, the other build-up is that the fast, a lot of times we learn new things in life. We always learn new things, but very rarely do you learn something that, when we're older at least, that's 180 degrees the opposite of what we thought before. This is one of those cases, because the word that is the most important thing in Judaism, most people think it's the evil inclination. Most people think it's evil. And I'm saying not only is it not evil, but it is the single most important thing in our entire religion. It is what you think is the Yetzer Tov is or the Yetzer Hara. What is that word?
Desire.
Desire. Ta'ara. Desire, okay? Let's go through it quickly. I don't know, by heart, I'm not going to come up with it. You go through Tehillim, David HaMelech uses all 25 words. Throughout Tehillim, every other paragraph is another word for desire. You have ta'ava, ratzon, she'ifot, kivui, chemda, cheshek, chuka, nichsefa, kalsa, tzamalacha nafshi, kamalacha besari, yachel Hashem, mavoye levav, rotzen, acha sha'alti, bikos, chipos, rotzoin. It's nafshi l'cha orga, kayol ta'aro, galafike, whatever. It's crazy, right? I'm being honest. I'm not making up. Those who don't speak Hebrew, the rabbi's giving me the thumbs up. There are 25 words for desire, because desire is the holiest thing in Yiddishkeit, you know? And it's a real principle. You know, the Irish have 150 words for drunk. You can Google it, okay? All right. Okay, I'm not starting world wars over here. I'm sorry, it was a joke. We like drunks. Some of my best friends are drunk, okay? All right, so what is it? Now, okay, but isn't desire bad? So here's how you explain it. According to Judaism, the Yetzer Tov is desire. If the Yetzer Tov is desire, so what's the Yetzer Hara? You see, our whole life is about just longing. Longing is holy. When I do an Avera, it's not that I had a desire for it. It's that I lost my desire. Is that somebody broke me. I do sometimes a training for rebellion in the school. I don't want to sound like I'm some big mechanech. I'm a one-trick pony. I have one message I want to share with every Rebbe, and sometimes I speak to rebellion and I give him this message. Okay, it's not like I have a 4-month course. I have a 1-hour course. Okay, this is my teacher course. Okay, I say when kid is doing something wrong. So we often say whatever culture, chassid or litvak, whatever, you have a different way of saying it. But the word we use is he's a bal tava. Right? He has desires. I guess it's not as harsh. It's a little bit like in saying in English, he's a hedonist. Not really, because we don't say that word. It's like he's a party animal. You know, that's what it's a, he's a partier. He's a chiller. So that's what we say. And I say that's the biggest mistake in the world, because when you tell a boy who's doing something wrong that he's a party animal, so a little bit you're glorifying it. You're making him sound like, oh, he's the man. Yeah, I'm a little bit bad, but I'm having fun. Right? That's not the truth. What you really should say to the boy is, oh, what happened to you? You used to be a dreamer. You used to have such big conceptions. You used to be full of fire. Who broke you? Who did this to you? When someone is doing something wrong, you know, I talk to secular college kids and they're all partying. That's my main job before COVID. I haven't been to a college since COVID, but before COVID, my job was every day I went to a different university. And my first line to university students was, you think I'm coming here to tell you, like, don't go to clubs, you know? Don't have so much fun. And you think that religious people, why are we saying that? Because it's about your soul, not your body. It's about the world to come, not about this world. So you think the rabbi's job is like, don't, your smile is too big, your eyes are too bright, you're looking that's wicked. Chas v'shalom. You're right, I'm telling you don't go to clubs. I'm telling you don't go to the club. That's why I'm here. I'm here to rain on your parade. But don't think I'm here to tell you don't go to clubs because I don't want you to have fun. The entirety of Judaism only has one goal, that you should be happy. That's all I care about. But you know what the secret is? Nobody ever went to a club to be happy. You know why you go to clubs? You go to clubs because every year they get darker and louder. It's a place to hide from the things you wanted when you were 10, when you were complete. At 10 years old, we're jumping off furniture with towels tied around our neck. We're going to save the world. I'm going to kill a dragon and get a princess, because that's what complete people want. And then we go through life, we get knocked around, we get beaten a little bit, and we start to say, I'm not going to be Prince Charming. No princess wants me. Or I'm not going to be a princess. No Prince Charming is going to risk killing a dragon for me. And we stop believing that we're going to be what we want. And then we don't dream that our dreams. So when you go to the club, what you're doing is you're not going there for a dream. You're going there to silence. In the noise and darkness, you can silence the things beating inside you, that voice in your ear of what you want. Because you know what the definition of pain is? I define pain as the gap between your expectations and your limitations. You have dreams. Those are your expectations. You start off shalem, you call it a complete child. Right? The first people up in any house in the morning are the little kids. You know, they're bouncing off the walls because they're alive and they're vibrant. We call it wide-eye, you know? I always say this, and the parents have to lock the door. Like, just because you're up doesn't mean we have to get up. You know, Tati has to go to shul. He has to go to work. You go play in the living room, you know, and let mommy and Tati sleep another hour. And that goes on until the kids are 14. You know, or 13, and then all of a sudden the parents wake up and the house is silent. And they go, oh my God, who stole the kids? And they discover nobody stole the kids. Avi locked the door to his room now. The roles are reversed. And you go, Avi, school, shacharit. I heard you, Ta. Abba, I heard. Shacharit. 10 more minutes. 10 more minutes to come back. He's still in bed. Avi, shacharit. And he goes, I heard. I'm up. I heard, right? This is what goes on. Then they lock the door. What happened? Because at 10 years old, we're still full of dreams. And then we get broken and we lose our dreams. And so and the college kids, they right? There's college girls who burn their diaries. Who are you burning when you burn your diary? You know? That's you. You know? So how do we call the person in the club a Baal Ta'ava? Desires? Desires, and you tell the guy it's too much desires, so you're feeding him. You're going, yeah, I'm a party animal. I'm a rock star. No, it's Sadiq. Who broke you? I knew you a few years ago. I tell this from people, for college kids, I go, you wanted to carry that girl's books home from school. You wanted to mow lawns a whole summer so you can buy her an ice cream. You had a picture of deserving somebody. And now who are you hanging out with? What are you doing? Who broke you? Who destroyed you? Who extinguished the fire in your eyes? That's what the Yetzer Tov is, desire. The Yetzer Hara is the loss of desires. It's the cynicism and the rolling the eyes. So I got distracted. The definition of pain is the gap between your dreams and your fears and your limitations. So if you have dreams and you don't believe you can reach them anymore, you suffer. So what people do is they have to deny their dreams. You have to silence your dreams, and then I won't have the tzar. Instead of working on my limitations, whatever, there's other right ways to deal with this. But that's not the purpose here. But I just need to shift people's view. Imagine what would happen if every Rebbe in every school, if a kid was doing something wrong, instead of saying, you Rasha, you Baal Tava, you hedonist party animal, we said, what happened to you? Who broke you? Who did this to you? I remember you when you were on fire. What would happen then? Right? First of all, instead of glorifying the kid, you're taking away the kavod of the Avera. You're taking away, he's no longer the cool bully in the class now. He's no longer the bad influence. But you're also giving him the empathy. It's the empathy he needs. Right. He's not going to get to where he needs to go. And the best reason is, the reason to change this, instead of saying Baal Tavat, to say Nebuch, the best reason is it's the truth. like maybe we should just say the truth. That's what happened. No one is doing an Avera. You could think about it. If you want to think about it, try and find any Avera that comes from desire. Anything. You wanted to make $1 million and now you're stealing, taking shortcuts and cutting the line. That's not what you wanted. You wanted to earn it. You wanted to go to sleep at night feeling like you did it. Nobody ever dreamt of a shortcut. Nobody.
Unbelievable.
We take shortcuts as we don't believe we can do. This is, I think, the most important thing. And Judaism, the center, my Yetzer Tov is desire. You see someone doing an Avera, the answer isn't to knock him down. The answer is someone poured water on his flame. Right? I was asked to speak somewhere once. They gave me a title. The title was Kindling Our Children's Licht. That's Yiddish for lighting our children's flames. So I said, I don't like the title. The parent's job is not to light children's licht. Every child is born lit. That's what a kid is. A kid is a ball of fire. Right. A parent's job is to make sure that nobody pours water on the kid's fire.
Amazing.
That's a parent's job.
Unbelievable. Rabbi, the topic of desires could be very close to the word of ambition. It could be a very big, tremendous
100%.
motivator for good. So
100%.
once we achieve the ambition, there's an internal conflict between dreams, like you mentioned, dreams, right? You have dreams. And then there's also the topic of fears. People are worried and scared of these big dreams.
This is why you're the interviewer. You got it. This is
how do we define dreams and how do we and fears?
Right. So what you real, I mean, this is where you came to the right, because once you describe this, like what I just described, like desire is everything. So then why do you ever need to talk about anything else? So why doesn't everybody have desires? So what is the problem? How come who doesn't want to live dreams? Who doesn't want to? So the answer is fears, right? But you have to get the reason why we become chillers. That's a new word today, chiller. So everybody's a chiller. Like,
relax.
You know what chiller is? Chiller is just a remarketing of failure. What is the process of chilling? Right? Doing nothing, right? You know what's so appealing about chilling? It's impossible to fail at chilling. You cannot chill poorly. Right? If you chilled poorly means you were doing something, which is better than chilling. You succeeded at life, right? The idea is if you're lying flat on the floor, you can't fall. What a cool way to live. You can't fire me, I quit. If you never ask someone for a date, you can't get rejected. If you don't apply to a school, you can't be not accepted. So the secret of being cool is don't ever invest in anything. And then what happens is you can never be hurt. What a safe life. But you know what else is you'll never experience the pain of failure. But you'll also never experience the joy of success. You're committing suicide one day at a time. I call it incremental suicide. One opportunity at a time, check it out. So you're right. It comes from fears. The reason why we don't embrace it is, why should I try and climb the mountain? I know I'll feel good, but the odds are I'm going to break my neck. So why bother? Right? So the fear of failure is what robs. So I like to skip. I mean, we're not doing a 4-part series. I got to get this all done in like a few questions. So I'm going to skip to a few steps and say, where does the fear come from? Why do I believe I'm going to fail? So people like to say, because I failed in the past. That's not a good proof to me, because many people fail, they get beaten up, and they'll never go back there again. Whatever it is. I know maybe there are people here who read comic books. When I remember my Averis, when I was a kid, we grew up in comic books. Well, they were very healthy comic books, but every comic book had an advertisement that was preying on teenage kids. Well, not even pre-teenage kids. They knew which advertisements to put in the comic books. It's every kid wanted. They had a comic book of a guy sitting and whatever, he was there with his Megala, and on the beach, and some big guy came and kicked sand on him, and the girl left because he was embarrassed. So the next scene is the guy joins the Charles Atlas muscle building program, and he goes and he gets these big muscles. And it's like 3 little pictures in the comic book. The last scene is where the guy is coming back to the beach now, and he beats up the big guy, and everything's good again. Right? So as kids, everybody feels weak sometimes, and if you tell you I can get muscles and you could be that guy. So every kid begged their father, I didn't, because I knew my father was not going to punch. Like I had a previous experience, but many kids, the fathers would how many people sent away for the Charles Atlas program. So why am I bringing this in? Because everyone says the reason why they give up their dreams is because they think they're going to fail, and why they think they're going to fail because they got beaten up or they failed. I said, but that's not the answer. Because some people get beaten up and they'll never go back to the beach again. But some people get beaten up and they go to the gym. So it's not automatic that beaten up means you give up. You have to go one step earlier. What is it that makes the trauma of life make me give up? That's the question. Why am I not the guy who got beaten and went to the gym? Why didn't I get made fun of and then read the encyclopedia and I know everything now? Why didn't I become the biggest lamdan? Because the Rebbe said, you're not going to be anything, I shouldn't have said that. Because everyone says these things. I don't know any Rebbeim who say that. Every Rebbe that I know is a rock star, right? But maybe 100 years ago when people said things like this. But I don't want to add my voice to like all the negative. We're beautiful people. We really are. And everybody needs to like take pot shots at us because we're too happy. Okay. So I just sidetracked myself so like a little advertisement. But the question is how come some people are told that they're no good and they become great? So that's the real question. Where do the fears come from? So you have to look back. Everything's in the Torah. The story in Gan Eden, Hashem, the Borei Olam, creates Adam and Chava, and he puts them in this Gan. The goal was that they should be dancing barefoot in the Gan. Children and singing and violins and flowers. That was Hashem's, it's a matana. He gave us the Bria to enjoy the beauty of the world. Instead, they end up hiding in the bushes, ashamed. So why are Adam and Chava in the bushes? Why do people hide? There's one guy, but there's millions of bushes. What makes people unique is which bush. We all have the same dreams. We want love and purpose and meaning and truth and clarity and justice, significance. But hiding places, everybody has their own hiding place. He hides here. But what puts someone in the bushes? What drives you to the club? What makes you need loud and dark? So we know why Adam and Chava are in the bushes, because of busha, shame. The secret of the opposite of desire is shame. Busha. What is busha? It's a hard thing to define. Shame. Most people think I'm ashamed of other people. I call that secondary busha. That's not real busha. Shame. The way that works, real busha is I can't look myself in the mirror. I know what I did. I know I'm a faker. I'm a cop-out. I let myself down. I can't look in the mirror. If I have real busha, then how do I face the world? So I fake like I'm happy and everyone thinks I'm great and I get away with it. Then when I get exposed in the world and someone makes fun of me, so they ripped off my mask. Now my secret is out. I thought I was getting away, that no one knew that I was ashamed. And now you ruined my mask. So public embarrassment is just ripping off my mask and forces me to deal with what I already felt like myself. So the answer of how to get back. So I'm not sure if you're asking how to get back. Whatever. When you talk about dreams and desire, you have to talk about shame, because the precise definition of shame is, I think, shame is the feeling you feel when you cop out, when you take a shortcut, when you don't. I'll give like a secular metaphor, a simple thing, like the kid who works the whole summer, mowing lawns, and he buys his first car for $500, rusty old jalopy. But all of his friends spend the whole summer driving around in his car. It feels like $1 million, And another guy sees all the guys driving in this rusty car around town the whole summer, and he's jealous. He goes to the next town, and he steals a shiny new Cadillac. And now all the friends are driving his fancy Cadillac because his radio works and his air conditioner works and it's like a party. Our guy, he's the guy with the Cadillac. He comes home at night, drops everybody off. Can he sit in his driveway in his car and feel like $1 million? No. Our guy who paid for the jalopy, he might not even have money left over for gas. He might not be able to go anywhere. But after he comes home at night, he can sit in his car in his driveway and put his arms down, going nowhere, and feel like he's on top of Mount Everest because he paid for this car. The feeling of self is to have climbed your mountain. Shame is the experience that the things in my life are fraudulent. I took a shortcut. I'm not who I was meant to be. And it's idea I can't look myself. Shame is detectable when you're alone, when you're looking in the mirror. And that's what robs, when you don't believe that you're good, then you don't have dreams. The way to recover dreams is to deal with busha. And if you deal with and there's really okay, there's a lot of go a lot of directions. I'm used to question and answers. I'll let you ask the next question or whatever. All right, I can go on. I'll go on. You want me to just?
I must say, Rabbi Feldheim, very, very powerful, mindset and teachings that you're telling the audience. It's a different outlook. Many times people don't look at it this way. So It's very, very, very impressive.
Well, let me say this. Let me say you're right. This is the uniqueness of Judaism. You see, other religions they actually see it the way that I started like taking apart. They say that that desire is evil.
Right.
It's bad. It's the body over the soul. You don't ignore your body. Embrace your soul. It's about olam haba, not olam hazeh. These are religious people, but the goal in even people like the Eastern religions, because they somehow sound more philosophical. I don't know, whatever. But the Eastern religions, they say it the clearest. What's their goal? Their goal is they want to meditate and sit still. Why? Because my soul, my infinite part of me, is trapped in my body. My body is like a straitjacket, limiting my soul. So I can only see through my eyes and hear with my ears. Imagine if I could transcend my body and escape, become part of the infinite. It all sounds nice, but what their life is about, therefore, is sitting still and not thinking, not eating, not feeling, not doing. It's self-negation. Their goal is not to feel. Their dream is to transcend, to reach this thing called nirvana, is to escape the world, and other religions are really the same. Even in Christianity, their image in God in Christianity is suffering on the cross. And in Islam, it's about sacrifice and martyrdom and submission. Every religion, everyone's about breaking yourself and becoming smaller. Desire, therefore, is evil. Judaism, and unfortunately, let me say this, many Jews think the same way. It's a mistake. It needs a lot of shiurim, but the truth is that you look in David HaMelech in Tehillim, he uses the word tava constantly, in Kuf Yutes alone, and it's always good. A desire for Hashem and a desire for Torah, Chemda, Cheshech, it's all holy. Because Hashem created us to dance in his Gan. He wants us to have joy. This is the uniqueness of Torah. Torah is not a book of escaping life. There's laws about everything.
It's living life.
It's a way to live. The world is I say this, if you look at the world like this, that Hashem created the world to experience him in the Bria, and Hashem created a world, desire is holy because everything's beautiful. So then, who is the biggest Mekadesh Shem Shemayim in the world? Who is sanctifying God's name the most? You know who? The guy who wakes up earliest. He's saying, whoa, look at the world. And who is the biggest Mechalel Shem Shemayim? Who is desecrated? Who is saying the guy who pushes the snooze button the most times? Because what he's saying is, it's never going to happen. Who am I fooling? Kiddush Hashem is to say, dream large. Yiddishkeit is the religion of dreams. We are the dreamers. Hashem, the purpose of Am Yisrael then is the people in the world who are there to fan your dreams, to restore dreams.
It was a Panovich Rav. He said that you have to dream, but you have to dream with your eyes open. Don't go to sleep. You have to.
Beautiful. That's right. That's it.
But let me ask you a question, Rabbi Feldheim. Once we want to pursue our ambitions, our dreams, our goals, our desires, right? We want to start doing this, right? But our environment or surroundings or the people we're around, right, might pull us from achieving our dreams.
Oh, you're right. Yeah.
So how do we prevent this, Rabbi?
Okay. So
I've had many times people get inspired. Yalla, we're gonna change the world.
Good. So let me say this. So much.
The next day, you see them. Habibi, my friend, what happened to you? Oh, the master. I went back to school, and my friends, and my surroundings, and my family, and my parents, and my brothers, and my siblings. You know how it is. So how do we prevent that?
Yeah. So listen, let me say
inspired us. We're going to be starting.
I want to say this. Halavai, if only we could say that the biggest danger is friends. It's like it's like in the frum world, we're like very against smartphones. But I always tell people, a man's mind is more dangerous than any smartphone. Yeah, I'm not saying you should have smartphones, but don't stop by the smartphone. You gotta have a filter on. You gotta figure out how to download, right? By the way, let me say this, because this is an important thing to stick in. A lot of secular people, or even a lot of modern Jews, religious Jews, they don't like that the religious world is so defensive of our kids. We're so protective and so restrictive. I think this is really part of this year, because the reason we're against we protect our kids from exposure to the secular media is exactly your question. You see, The secular world is very, very good at pouring water on fire. Let me say it. How I have 10 minutes. How much time do I have to say this right now?
We have you.
Okay, because I want to say this is. I have a way of saying this. Like when I started doing Kiruv years ago. So you go to high schools, you go to colleges to speak. So in high school, like in colleges, teenagers have words that they use every other word is the same word. So when I started, you know what the word was? I'm going to give away how old I am, but the word that the world used when I started was like a California. You're from California. It was called like the California Valley Girls. They used to say like awesome, totally awesome. You remember that? You're not my age or whatever.
No.
Okay. All right. But that was a thing. Anyone who lived through those times knows that everything was that. That's totally awesome. Like awesome. Awesome is just awesome. It's a Sephardi pronunciation of awesome. Okay, it's awesome. Okay, no, patach. So that's how I started. Everything was awesome. You go to college now or high school. You know what the number one word is today? Whatever. Let me tell you something. There's no bigger gap between two words than the gap between the word awesome and the word whatever. Awesome is a word full of optimism, excitement, and hope. And whatever is this, I say it's the saddest word in the world. It's a long word, awesome, but it's much longer than people think it is. Here's the word awesome, what it means. Awesome means when I was young, I thought everything was, whatever is a long word. Here's the meaning of the word whatever. The meaning of whatever is, when I was young, I thought things were awesome. I was full of dreams. And then bad things happened. I don't believe those dreams will happen for me. And it hurts me very, very much now when I think about those dreams. It causes me so much pain. I can't live with that pain. So I need somehow to silence the voices in my head that say that I have all these dreams. Therefore, I came up with this new word called whatever, which says that all that stuff is foolishness and narishkeit and not necessary. And that's why I can live with all of the things I thought were awesome. It's a long speech, but that's what it is. So where the world is really sad. And the world, I wouldn't say that they mean to be evil, but when you give up and you don't believe dreams are achievable, so then you have to create a culture. You don't want people to feel pain. So if people are not going to fulfill their dreams and you don't want them to feel pain, so what do you have to do? You have to teach people to say whatever. You have to teach people how instead of being wide-eyed like they were when they were kids, you have to teach them how to roll their eyes, how to make fun of all the things they love. And the secular world is the kings at that. All of the media has one goal with two parts: to make fun of all those innocent dreams that are not achievable and to glorify all the fake replacements, to make my clubs and my noise and my darkness sound so exciting, and to make all those lofty, noble dreams that my diary had shameful. And if they do that, then they can help people not have pain, because you silence the dreams and no one runs out. So it's a dangerous world. If kids are exposed to this stuff, so then they're convincing. They have the best, most talented presenters doing this. So they will convince people that their dreams are childish and shallow, and they'll destroy the world. Besides, children will see, so they'll shame you, right? But I want, just remind me to get back to the other side of it. Like I just want to give one example. When I do like a lot of men-women talks on colleges, and it's the opposite of the way they see it. And in 1 hour, you can change a person's whole life. Yeah. People are scared of this topic because they think it's like the hardest thing to sell. This is the opposite. I think it's the best topic because it is literally where we can show them that our world is the opposite, and intuitively they know that this is their truth. What I'm saying is who they really are. And you can change someone's life in 5 minutes. I regularly have girls leaving the shir saying, I mean, the boys get it also, but the boys, you know how I know the boys get it? When I finish my shir, the boys go, well, that was so deep. Now I got to go somewhere darker and louder. That's what they say. but the girls, they don't do that. The girls, they get it. And the girls decide, like, why am I giving up my dreams? I'm too young. I'm 18. Why am I giving up my dreams? I have a whole life to live. So they go back to their dorm rooms and they decide that they're going to be more tsnuah, and they're going to tell their boyfriend or whatever, they have new rules. And usually the girl starts to have a little self-respect. And if the boyfriend was a nice Jewish boy, he's going to try and play along because he feels like, like busted, like he got caught with his hand in the cookie jar. He knows that he wasn't treating her the way she's supposed to. But the girl invariably ends up crying to sleep every night. Why? Because she's proud. Everything's better. Her roommates torture her to death. You're such a prude. You're so old-fashioned. What's the matter? It doesn't mean anything. Go to a convent, become a nun. You thought you were a modern. You're trying to undo the whole feminist movement? What's the matter with you? The world does not want anyone to be too happy because we all gave up, and you can't remind me of it because you're causing me tzar. You're ruining their hiding place. You're not keeping the social contract. Your job is to read my Instagram and tell me, wow, you're so jealous. Oh my God, I can't believe what you're eating. I can't believe what you're wearing. That's our jobs. You help me fake, I'll help you fake, and together we won't ever remember the voices we heard when we were 10. And then we'll be numb. But that's only half. The other half, as I said, that's the shaming of the world. Then that's two types of shame. Then there's the internal shame. Shame is the feeling I feel when I count out. And we don't want to have internet because when someone sees things that he was supposed to work for, deserve, and I was supposed to work hard, and I wanted to deserve Bas Melech, and I wanted to be all those things. And then somehow I see all these things I wanted to see without any work of deserving. I feel shame. That's the shame. And you know what happens when a child has shame? So what shame does is it runs through your whole personality. It makes you feel like a nobody. And you become a chiller because you can't jump around because you don't believe you're good. You used to be the kid used to be the last kid in from recess. The Rebbe had to say, like, you'll come in, and he would go, Rebbe, one more shot, and that's healthy. That's the way it's supposed to be. But the day the kid sees things that he's not supposed to see, he doesn't even go to recess anymore. Wow. You can't fight with the boys and run after the ball. You lose the whole balance in your step.
So we have to have our focus, our mind straight, and go towards the goal of these dreams, and constantly go towards it, no matter what the situation is. Don't go sidetracked. Don't lose focus, and
also protect children. You see, I don't think, like, people always say to me, like, you can't do that forever. You can't. Everyone's going to see I understand, but here's a simple way to explain it to somebody: is that, yeah, you can't do it forever, but you see, when you're a child, so you have shame. This is an important thing for the answer. Like, when you have shame, so the shame runs through your personality, but I have nothing to answer it to. Once a kid has made a siyum on Bava Kama, he worked the whole 10th grade and he finished the whole, so now he has an accomplishment. So now, if he's exposed and he sees something he shouldn't see and he feels shame, he has a cop-out. So it doesn't run through his whole personality because he has another voice saying, yeah, but I worked a whole year and I finished on the sechta. So now he has a voice to counteract the voice of shame. And the more you accomplish, the stronger that voice is, and you can survive. But a child has nothing to fight it. And he has no real accomplishments. All he has is his parents telling him he's a genius. He once said a word, he pronounced it wrong, he's a rock star. That's what kids do. Like, I have a dimple. You don't feel pride from those things. You haven't accomplished anything yet. So when you feel shame, a child, it destroys him. It runs right through him without any valves and takes over his personality. And he has no choice but to make fun of the world and become a cop-out. You need shmirah. We have a pasuk. It says, Ki chizak brichei sha'arayich beirach banayich b'kirbech. When you strengthen the bolts of your gates, the kids will be blessed inside. Now, listen, people will go to work and people will go out in the world, but you can only do that once you've already done things that you can be proud of. And now, when the invariable failure comes, you have another voice that can counteract it. So these are real rules, let me, yeah.
Rabbi, I gotta tell you, very big chizuk, very big inspiration. I'm telling you, all those that are listening, I'm certain that they're feeling the same vibes that I'm feeling. Like, accomplish things, make things happen, do good things. The more good you're doing, the shame will fade away. You'll push to the side and just continue doing amazing good things and achieving those dreams. Rabbi, let me ask you one final question. You ready for this, Rabbi Feldheim? can you please leave us with some closing, last inspiring remarks for our listeners on this topic? One last final thought, another, fastball, another grand slam. You've been hitting a lot of grand slams today. I love it.
Okay. Okay.
You ready? We're ready.
You sure? I didn't pull any muscles. Normally, every time I do anything, I pull a muscle. That's the only way I know I did athletic activity is if something hurts. Maybe it'll hurt tomorrow. Okay, I'll trust you. What can I tell you? So, you know what? Let me just tell you the cure, because invariably we all have felt shame. We've all had compromises. So therefore we look in the mirror. We're not convinced that we're heroes. And so our temptation is to hide, therefore. And we're looking for bushes, and we have all these different ways of hiding. So what's the way out of the bushes? So I have to pick one thing. You know what? I'm not going to pick one. I'm going to say two things really fast, and then I'll say one thing properly. The easiest thing, the first thing, not the best thing, but definitely the first thing is chesed. Olam chesed yibaneh. When you give tzedakah, you help somebody, you feel good. And that will coexist with the shame, and it makes you feel valid. You can be in the darkest place, and you can be on the way to the bar, and you give a homeless person some money, and you say something nice, and the person smiles at you, you might not go to the bar. You might just turn around and go somewhere better, because it instantly makes you feel, that's a short answer. Better answer is to learn Torah, to feel smart, deeper. That's probably the best answer, because it changes the way you feel like a human. You don't just belong doing low things. You feel like you tasted the heavens. If you really so. But let me say something in the middle, which I think is something that everyone can do. And in Gan Eden, the place you look for the cure is that Adam and Chava hiding in the bushes, and what do? They covered themselves with a fig leaf. Right? So we want to know. So we're asking, what is the ale te'ena? If I have shame and I want to come out of the bushes, so what's my fig leaf? What is the metaphor of the fig leaf? So I can't get into the fig. I'm gonna tell you what I think the answer is. For every shame, there's a different fig leaf. The fig leaf. Chazal say that there was ale te'ena because the tree was a te'ena. You have to cover yourself. The cure for the shame is what the shame was. So you need a shame. So therefore, I think, again, it could be I'm projecting, but most of my friends, people I know, have the same fig leaf, have the same shame. Why do I hide? What's my hiding? Because I know I'm good at stuff. I know I can hit a home runs once in a while. I know grand slam. I can do things good. I have talents. I can do things. But the reason why I push the snooze button, the reason why I'm reluctant in things, the reason why I like hiding as well as somebody else does, is because, like the muscle I use is if you're filling a bathtub with water and you're running the water fast and it doesn't fill because there's a crack on the bottom. So you got to figure it out. We all have our lives filled with accomplishments. What's the crack in the bottom of my tub that's not letting my accomplishments make me feel good? That's what you have to identify. And I found for myself that my crack in the bottom of my tub is, I'm good. I could do stuff, but I have no stamina. I could do it for a week. Every Gemara I have from every year in school, the first 3 pages is covered in notes. Every Maram Shif, everything on the side. And then by Daf Dalid, it's already pictures of cowboys, and Daf Hey probably doesn't even exist. I don't know where it ended up, but so I learned over the course of my life that Yitzchak Feldheim is a talented guy. He can do certain things well, but he can't do it for a while. And it's always gonna, so then when that happens, that's the crack in the bottom. Then when it comes to doing something, you say, why should I bother? It's never gonna last. I'm just gonna tease myself and get my hopes up. Wow. So what's the if that's your busha, if your busha is the lack of stamina and consistency, so the fig leaf for that is 2 things. Is shacharit b'tzibur in a makam kavua. You daven every day in the same seat. See, even if you go to shul, but every day it's a different minyan, you sit in a different place. It's nice. You have a lot of benefits of tefillah. But there's one benefit. If I go every morning to the same minyan and I sit in the same seat for a month, you know what happens at the end of the month? You look at yourself and you go, you know what? I'm consistent. I'm a man. Hashem, I got shoulders. Put it on my shoulders. You reformat your hard drive and you think of yourself as a responsible person. I believe for most people in our door, two things: shacharit b'tzibur in a makom kavua, every day the same seat, and daf yomi.
Oh, I love daf yomi.
Daf yomi, because it's not like you're the biggest lamdan. It's not a cover trip. It's a consistency trip. And these are the two refuot for hadar. If you go to shul every morning the same seat and you do the daf, when you finish your first mesechta and you had your first snowstorm, when you shoveled the car out in the dark when it wasn't even light yet, and you get to shul, you come home sore, but you feel like a man. And you'll never run away again because you don't have busha. The busha's gone. I thought I was a cop-out, and I'm not. So now I can embrace. And now all of my abilities and strengths will pile up. Soon your tub will be overflowing. I hope you don't have neighbors downstairs. You know? But, that's the story right there. There's so much more to say.
Feldheim, that was so inspiring, unbelievable. Chazaq, Baruch Yasher Koach. Amash, I can't wait to wake up earlier now. You know, you said
rip off the snooze button. Rip it off.
No, by us, we don't have a snooze button.
We should start. It should be like we should have like a hashtag, like a whatever, like a bumper sticker, like rip off the snooze button, like.
You know, I talking about, you know, sometimes people feel weak and they feel like they're tired or they're inspired. Right now, everyone's watching is inspired. There's no question about it, okay? Massive audience, everyone is inspired. But the thing is, you have to keep the inspiration going. You have to stay strong. You have to stay chazak. So we came up with a...
So don't hang up. Let's continue. I'll sit there a whole day, Rabbi. I don't know. This is Torah.
I love it.
Everyone knows I don't have an off button. I'm going. I'm gonna hang up. I'm gonna be talking to myself in the room. Okay?
But to my point, Rabbi, is people have to stay strong. They have to be chazak. So we came up with a reminder for everyone. It's right over here. It's called Be Chazak, Be Strong. You see?
Nice.
It's a reminder everywhere you go. Be chazak, be strong. Be chazak, be strong. You know, you take the commitment right now. People are going to commit to make sure every single morning they're going to go to shacharit. They're going to go to a minyan. They're going to sit in the same seat. They're going to do it for a day, for 2 days. And then by the third, fourth, fifth day, like the rabbi said with the Gemara, it's going to get a little bit difficult. You have to just continue to stay chazak, to stay strong.
Beautiful.
This is a reminder.
And you should add, after 30 days of doing this, you should send everyone a little thing that says, I'm a Baal Tava. Okay?
It's a concept around.
I'm a Baal Tava. Beautiful. Rabbi, you're the best. You guys are the best.
Chazaq,
Rabbi is the holiest of the whole.
The whole entire Chazaq office, the staff, the team, the board members, the supporters, they're all mamash ready, willing, able to do stuff for Klal Yisrael, for the Jewish people, and we're going to do a lot more. We want to remind everyone every Tuesday's Timely Torah Talks, Chazaq's amazing podcast and program, available on all the various different apps and all that other good stuff around there. We're getting tremendous feedback all over. We have many special guests coming up on the next few weeks. Stay tuned for that. I believe Charlie Harari is up and coming. I don't remember the exact schedule, but you'll hear about it B'ezrat Hashem. And please continue sharing and forwarding and liking and all that other terms that are out there. And once again, Rabbi Feldheim, thank you very, very much. And B'ezrat Hashem, looking forward to seeing all of us together in Yerushalayim Abniyah. And happens in our days. Amen ve'amen.